Hey, what is up guys? It's your boy Speed here, and today I'm bringing you a video from my recent stream where we did this really in-depth jug coaching analysis. We cover a ton of really important topics such as itemization, how to pressure in lane, how to think about your lane matchups, map movements, target priority. There's a ton of different things you really need to look into if you are a safe lane player trying to gain the ranks. So if that sounds like it applies to you, get ready for this video. You're going to really enjoy it, and let's get into it. Also, I want to tell you guys that if you've been struggling with solo queue and you're looking to get to the next rank, I'm going to be able to help you. Like, literally, with the gameleap website, I'm going to give you guys guides that are going to make it unbelievably clear on what you need to do. So if you've been stuck in the solo queue grind, you don't know what to do, and you want to become absolutely broken, but like actually you want to become much better at Dota, and you want to take it more seriously, the gameleap website is going to help you do that. So click the link down below. I'm going to help you get to the next rank, and I'll see you there. Item build check. Item build check. Okay, starting stick against Necro. It's reasonable. Necro Undying, very reasonable. Okay, I like it. Who's Wraithband? Not a huge fan of completing Wraithband on Jug because you have such high armor already. So, and you have high base attack time, so you don't really gain that much from Wraithband as a hero. So I don't really like the Wraithband rush at all. I think that's a mistake. I think the boots early is good against Necro. The key to the Jug Necro matchup is to hit him a lot because he's slow. So you can actually kill Necro. You want to like make sure you're taking Healing Ward at level 2 most of the time, and then hitting him a good amount and putting a lot of pressure. You can even buy like a Mango. Wand is fine. You don't have to go Wand though. A lot of the time against Necro, if you're winning the lane, you want to rush Phase Boots or Oof. You can buy an Orb of Venom and just run him down. Obviously it depends on the lane, like it might be hard to do that against Undying, but like with Jakiro, you guys can kill this guy if you play it correctly, if you hit him enough. Maelstrom, okay. Went into Manta, Sanjin Yasha. Okay. I think I probably would have went Manta this game. Only because they have like 0 stuns. So I'd probably go Manta because it just lets you split push then. It's not that, like, usually I prefer Sanjin Yasha. I just think that it's just a better Manta game here because you can use it to farm, especially in low MMR pubs. But it's fine. This is fine. I don't really like Blink. I don't like these like Blink Jug builds. The reason why I don't love these Blink Jug builds is because like it kind of limits your DPS pretty hard. And it causes you to overextend a lot. So like, I'm iffy on this Blink. I have another, it's funny, I have another student who plays a good amount of Jug. He does this, and like I'm like teaching him why it's like usually not a great idea. Like there are times for Blink, and it's like basically players will justify it, like, oh, they have a sniper, I have to kill him. But it's like that's like more the job of like Wind Ranger in this guy, for the most part. You can kind of do it, and we'll see how it plays out. Mjolnir, it's okay. I don't hate it. I just think you should have bought a Scotty. Like, you should have just went Sanjin Yasha Scotty this game. It's just too good to not buy stuff. Like, unless something happens that I don't understand, it just should have been a Scotty game. So the main thing in this lane is how you basically play the regen battle. Obviously, like, I can just flame your CSing and last hitting, you know, you missed a couple there. But I definitely would ship out a second set of tangos in this lane. Basically, the main thing I would do in this lane is I'd ship out a second set of tangos and boots right away. Because against Necro, you really want boots. Because you want to run him down. Like, basically, when you're a hero like Jug that has 6 armor, is a melee hero with better damage and high movement speed, and a kill ability, Necro hates these heroes. Necro hates CK, Necro hates Jug to an extent. Necro just hates the heroes that can kill him early on. And so, because Necro is really killable early on. A lot of people don't understand this. They think, like, Necro is tanky. Necro is not tanky at level 1. This hero fucking feeds until it's level, like, 4. A lot of the time. Because people don't skill Shroud until they're either level 4 or, like, level, like, 10. I was like, realistically, you guys could kill this guy, like, right now. If this guy Qs him, then you guys could basically kill Necro right now. And I think that's just kind of an understanding of, like, the lane, to be honest, which is, like, part of being, it's a huge part of being good. Understanding lane dynamics and how heroes function, you know? It's just, it's maybe the hardest thing about Dota, because it's a hard thing to coach, because it's like, you have to go over matchups one by one. But the key to understanding matchups better without having to learn every matchup is just learning the archetypes of matchups, essentially. Like, and there's nuances to every matchup, for sure. But it's like, this hero dies at level 1. This hero kills at level 1. This hero should be running at this hero a lot in coordination with the slower stun, and you'll do a lot. This Undying is yet to cast the K, bro. That is insane. My man is sitting on full mana as Undying. That is just, I don't know, that's just a tragedy. That is an American tragedy for sure. Or EU, depending on this region. Or SEA, who knows. So, like, the biggest problem about this lane is you're starting to miss your gap to kill this guy. You have another chance at level 3 to kill him on Jakiro plus your spike, so you could kill him again there, and maybe you do. Oh, wait, I know you don't, because I looked through the items. You didn't kill, I don't think anything happened early on. Which is concerning, because if no one dies or lives in this lane, usually it means Necro's going to win the lane over time. So that would be my concern, that you get kicked out of lane because you don't put any pressure. Which is a big thing people don't understand. They think like, oh, if I don't pressure, it just means the lane's, you know, I'm playing defensive. But a lot of the time, if you don't pressure certain heroes when they're pressurable, you'll lose the lane. For instance, Viper, Razor, Necro, all these like ranged lane dominators are not necessarily that strong early on. So if you have a lane that can pressure them, and you don't pressure them, you are throwing the game. It's SEA. There you go. Also, yeah, this is most likely a healing ward game. Healing ward is, this is a bit niche, so I wouldn't focus on it too much, but healing ward counters decay, because when you have low HP and you heal, oh my god, I don't think you got a single one of those CS. You also should not have spanned for those CS. I don't even know why you spun. I was just like, there's like no reason to spin these CS. And there's no reason to have like crit necessarily. Like, you're wasting your kill potential. You didn't get the CS, and like another thing is like you don't really want Blade Dance here because you need the ability to heal against like Necro and Dying. You're gonna get chipped down, right? You're basically gonna run out of resources at some point, or the Jakiro is gonna have to jerk you off with like 3 salves, which maybe he'll do. Honestly, I don't even hate the Blade Dance if you were more aggressive. Basically, my main gripe with this lane is 2 things. He missed a shit ton of CS, and he didn't pressure that Necro. The reality is like this, there's a lot more nuance to Dota, but at like this level, I don't want to make my analysis much more complex because it's just pointless. You just didn't understand how this matchup plays out, and now it's hard to kill this guy because he's gonna have like boots and fucking a wand, level 4. You know, he didn't even take Ghost Shroud, so he's still killable. Oh my god, I hate these. I hate this shit. Why don't people read the abilities? Why would you skill Liquid Fire? It goes up by 5 in damage. 5. This shit doubles. My god. So yeah, main problem is like you guys just kind of don't. Like they didn't pressure you and you didn't pressure them. If either one of you guys pressured each other, they would have won the lane so hard because you casted 1 spin this lane. You literally span once. Like that's just the problem. You should be spinning. Once you hit level 3, you should be spinning at least 2 or 3 times until you hit level 5. You know, at level 1, and against a hero like Necro, you should be spinning probably 2 or 3 times as well. Like, I like the stick because it also enables you to spin a lot. But like, yeah, you're just kind of AFK. TP mid. I would have just tried to stay top because you're kind of just fucking over your win range. You're better off just staying. Even if you feel trapped, you can just wait it out. It doesn't, even if you die, like, I don't know. You don't really want to take mid from your mid laner unless you like desperately have to. You cannot. This guy out trades you. Morphling's like a bad one-on-one matchup for Jugg. It's funny. Like, I feel like no Lomar players understand how Morph works. I've like never seen a player who like fully understands. Like, this guy should just hit you. Does he have a Morbid Mask? He should literally hit you. Oh my god, you're not killing him with that. Yikes. I respect the effort, though. Honestly, even though that was obviously not the right play, totally fine. You're pressuring the carry while farming. It's a very efficient play. You're farming at the top side of the map. I can get behind this. This is vibing. We're vibing, we're vibing, we're chilling. Okay. Could have went mid there to defend mid, but this isn't horrible. Only because you're Jugg, so it's like alright to go this far up. But careful about. So this is something you need to be careful about. They have like no pickoff free this game, so there's like a very low chance you'll ever die in a side lane this match. It's like a super free Jugg game. They just have. It's a super free any hero game. They just don't have pickoff, and so just be careful about spinning side lanes like this. If you're gonna do it, you gotta be very careful about like farming the nearby jungle when spins on cooldown. Farming patterns are pretty reasonable. My only question is like, are you looking at the minimap or not? Because usually when players farm this much at Lomar, if there's a game where the enemy team makes a move, they'll almost always die to it because they're not really paying attention. So that's the only thing I'd say, but it's good. That was nice. It's a good TP. It's a really good TP. That's good. Honestly, your next like few minutes have been fantastic, especially for the bracket. They've been very good. So I don't think this is where you're losing games. I think your laning stage was atrocious, to be blunt. This sequence has been good though. Like I'm not gonna like pick on everything you do because I'm sure I could find a lot of mistakes, but from like my idea of what a 3K would be, this seems really good. Only thing that concerns me is you're a little bit too afraid to push waves. I can assure you this. This is something you'll have to work on. One thing you need to do faster is clear the wave. So like here, what you should have done is you should have ran to the small camp, killed the small camp, and then ran down. Or you should have just cleared the wave. You don't want to clear this, and then the wave, because it's just simply inefficient, right? When you go in this order, right? You kill this, then you kill this, and then you kill this. There's like nothing to farm after, right? You're like not close to any camps, and you're clearing the creep wave late, which means you're also clearing it up at a potentially dangerous time. The thing is, you're not really looking at the rear. Just to be a bit more advanced, Gongs, like any high MMR player, if they're coaching in this game, they're going to tell you like you should be a Chad this game because the enemy team just does not have a way to kill you. Like the only way you die is if you walk up a high ground into like a 3 times multicast plus a scythe, and they would have to be directly on top of each other, perfectly coordinated, which is just not going to happen. It's not going to happen in an 8K game, and it probably would, and there's like 0 chance it'll happen in this game. But like same thing here, right? So in terms of the order, so you clear this wave. It's 1909, which means the wave's about here. One thing to keep in mind that I always kind of pay attention to is that 1920 is when the wave reaches here, in between this like tree. Basically, when it lines up with the small camp, is 1920 or whatever 20, or I think the other time he's 50, so it's 20 or 50. Yeah, 20 or 50. And so here you could instantly kill the wave here and then farm back. Instead of going this way, you could kill this wave instantly here, and then you have very clean rotation from this camp to this camp to this camp to this camp, and then you could run back, and it's much more clean. And you always want to clear the wave first because the wave is dangerous, right? So if you think you have an opportunity to clear the wave, you should clear it, usually just in Dota, because the wave is dangerous. The neutral camps are less dangerous. Not always, but most of the time. All right, even here, if I was in this game and I was in your position, I would honestly just go try to kill the Undying. It's probably not a great play, but like, I'm just like looking at their heroes. I'm just like, you should just play like an idiot, because they can't kill you. It's like sort of not true, but even here, like after they go. So this is a learning lesson for everyone. So anytime an enemy team takes your tower, unless you directly see them running up into the next tower, they're usually going to TP out or go try to kill someone else in a low MMR game. So if the enemy team takes your tower in a low MMR game, don't assume that that lane is dangerous. You should actually assume that that lane is safe. So after they kill this shit here, and you see them back off, you should assume bottom is safe. Because the reality is they're just going to be like, we took the tower, on to the next place, blah, blah, blah. So, like, you should have stayed bottom here. It's, like, really bad for you to run mid. It's like you could have cleared this entire thing out, but it's, like, slow again. And the problem is, like, most 3Ks just... Most players don't get... Most 7Ks don't get what I'm talking about here. They're just slow as shit. It's like everything's just slow. Like, you want to force this into here as fast as you can. And then you want to be here as fast as you can. But it's just, like, because you're too afraid, this entire game, you do everything a little bit too slow. Right, you have to push your limits, especially as a hero like Jugg. You constantly want to push your limits because you have an easy way out, right? But it's like, if I go back 20 seconds here, they run you out. What you should do here is say, okay, I will run around, run to my ancient camp, farm the ancient camp. If I think they leave, I will run down. But instead, it's like, okay, you do that, which is good. But then you run this way. It's like you already saw them left. You already saw them leave. So you can argue you can go mid here and take mid tier 1. That's honestly a good play as well. That's fine too. But like you hit the small camp and then run back bottom, which is like the worst possible option. It was either run to here and then run directly bottom, or run to here, and then run to here. You can't do this like in between. It's just slow. Like it doesn't create map pressure very quickly. This is like getting a bit more advanced. Honestly, I probably shouldn't even been... I don't know how useful this is to talk about, to be honest, now that I'm thinking about it. But it is something to think about. The pace of your game and the speed of your decisions really impacts how the game plays out, and it's very unobvious. Okay, you TP in for Roche fight. Cool. They weren't Roshing. See what I mean? But like, for instance here, right? Like, you TP in for this Roche fight, and you've only cleared the creep wave to here. And because you've only cleared the creep wave to here instead of here, now, because you were slow as fuck, the sniper eventually gets to TP bottom and farm everything. If you had pushed this all the way in, these creeps would have already died to the tower, and sniper wouldn't be able to farm this. Same thing here. Why did you even back? I don't even know. I guess you thought there was nothing to farm. Right, but it's like, it's 2144. The creep wave is like right here. You should absolutely clear the next wave before backing. You back to nothing. There's another creep wave here. This is the freest jug game of all time. They can't pick you off. Even if you're afraid of Scythe, like, what's the follow-up? You know, like, they cannot kill you, and you're not clearing the waves. It's just inefficient and lacks the ability to shut down the enemy team's farm by making the creep waves die to their tower. I think one of the dangers about teaching anything in life is, like, overcomplicating things and making things that generally should be simple very difficult. The reason why I think using the clock for a lot of things is the better way to go in the long run is because you have to use it for so many different things. You have to use it for runes, you have to use it for stacking, you have to use it for when camps are going to respawn. So like for me, it's like a lot more logical for me to be looking like up and down a lot. It's like it becomes a habit that I think is useful. So personally, I think looking at the clock for it helps you stack, it helps you know where waves are. It just kind of comes together. But what Fish is saying is another way to know where the creep wave is. Like if you don't know if the creep wave's coming or not, is you can look at your own creep wave. So if you're bottom, you look to top, you say, okay, my creep wave is right in front of the tier 2. That means their creep wave is right in front of the tier 2. So I should keep pushing and I should meet the wave here. If I'm a hero that can afford to do that. If you're something like a Medusa, you should probably just back into your triangle right away if they have pick off. If you're Juggernaut, often you want to take the chance and keep going. I think they probably lost because they got outscaled. I mean, Jug scales well, and like Wind scales well. So they most likely dope high ground, to be honest. Like I can already see this playing out. Like they dive in some like, they dive, they try to kill Sniper, they don't kill Sniper. Then there's a tombstone that builds up, and then they just fucking die. And then the Coddle and Jakiro overextend. They get fucked in the ass by the Morphling because Jug overextends and Spirit Breaker overextends. So they walk onto the high ground. Morphling waveforms in, takes a fat crap on Jakiro's ass because he has a Pipe of Insight and no actual defensive item. Same thing with Coddle, you know, and then they lose the fight. It's an aggressive Omni Slash that I personally was not a fan of. I think it's not worth Omni Slashing an Ogre. You should just spin at him. Especially when you buy Shard and you have the bonus movement speed, you should just spin. This is not... It's just not worth. It's worth Omni Slashing support solo like 10 minutes in, because you're just farming mostly. But at this point of the game, nah. Unless it's like a key support at the beginning of a fight, and you think it will translate into more kills. That's the only exception. This is where we're once again getting a little bit more advanced, but you can Omni Slash like a Lion at the beginning of a team fight, or like some Shaman or whatever, if you think it's hard to kill them otherwise. Or like, I don't know, someone dying, and it prevents them from getting spells off, or like, you think it's going to translate into another kill, but the problem with that Ogre kill is the enemy team could have just done nothing, and then you just don't have Omni Slash. Alright, so when you're ahead in Dota, the main thing is to clear your waves, so once again, you see them showing, I would just keep going. Like, unless I'm directly picking someone off, I would honestly just keep shoving in the wave. But the main thing you want to do at this point in the game is, yeah, group up. You want to get a smoke going. You're really strong. Like, get your team to smoke. Go kill somebody. Here, you should blink on Ogre. It's just, like, a much easier kill than... Your hero, Jug, is countered by Morphling at, like, every stage of the game. Like, Jug never does anything to Morphling until you have Scotty. So, just don't go on Morphling. So you can't Omni him, you can't spin on him. You can't even man up to him, usually. Unless you have Scotty. I just Omni'd because I was impatient. Yeah, it could just cause you to like lose a kill. Pipe any good for Jakiro? No, because even if this guy buys a Radiance, which he does, the problem with Pipe is that it's expensive as fuck, and it doesn't give you a useful build-up item. The problem about how people look at items in Dota is they look at the completed item without looking at the cost and without looking at the build-up. It's like the problem with Pipe is not the completed pipe. Partially, it's the completed pipe because it's not even, frankly, it's good, but it's not like that broken. But it's 3,450 gold, which is a shit ton for a support, right? And it gives you a hood, which is like, it's like okay. It gives you a headdress, which is practically worthless. and then you have to spend 1,500 gold on a recipe instead of buying any item, right? You're probably not buying as many sentries, wards, and whatever you should because you're like building up to the pipe. The hood is like kind of crap. Like, let's be real. It's like on a Jakiro, it's pretty dog shit. You should probably just buy a Veil or a Force Staff or a Glimmer, like something like this. Some item that's gonna win you a fight. There's just too many items that are like half the cost that have better build up too. It's like when you buy a Force Staff, you get a fluffy hat. You know, like this is, he didn't even buy a Magic Wand, which is a tragedy. No one in Lomra games buy Magic Wand. It's actually so sad, bro. Like, why does no one have a fucking You did have one, so I'm not gonna... Did you? Yeah, you did. Yeah. Oh, you currently have it. I'm retarded. But, this guy... Like, no one buys it. Alright, honestly, most of the people bought it in this game. Just, like, not Spirit Breaker, Jakiro, and Wind for some reason. It's not a great Omni because that guy was Ghost Shrouded. You should just spin. So one thing to think about is when you're level 20 of the Blade Fury DPS and your Shard, your spin is like basically your second ulti. And the thing is, if you use your spin first, it's a 5-second duration, right? So it gets put on a 13-second cooldown then, and you can get off 2, right? So the goal, like here, spin is just straight up better because you have the Blade. It's probably more DPS than Omni Slash, frankly, especially against Necro. So you absolutely should spin here because it purges the slow, purges this slow, gets rid of this slow. So it would have let you close the gap faster, and you could get off 2 in the team fight. So like not spinning here was a huge mistake in terms of overall DPS. And it causes you to end up Omni-slashing some Necro that you don't even do anything to. So that was pretty bad fight execution, to be honest. Yikes. Wind Ranger took the Aegis. Alright, I guess we're farming. Oh no, you're about to dive high ground. Ugh, I can already feel it. It's the Blink Dagger Jug classic. Your team gets ahead, you don't have Aegis, you blink high ground. I can feel it in my bones already. If it doesn't happen, I don't know. I would be blown away. This is pretty risky. You're committing your spin offensively. You need to be careful. Like, this is how you die. You're, like, spinning in vision. And, like, you're staying close to them when it's still on cooldown. You need to be a lot more careful about this. See, that guy's, like, half dead if you have a Scotty here. Or he has to wait for him right away. Instead, he just walks it off. Because you have a Blink Dagger. Alright, you just need to kite out. You need to wait for your spin. Healing Word. Alright, you wasted your Mjolnir shield. Healing Word. This was really bad. You bought a Blink Dagger. Like, if you buy Blink, then you need to blink into fights. Like, if you buy Blink, then at least use it. You know? Like, right here, it's like... Also, put your Wraith Pen in your inventory. It's doubled. But you have your blink up in like 1 second, and like right before your blink comes up, actually you even had it up, you like run in. It's like, what? You could have blinked on them here. You probably could have killed Sniper. You like ran in. You bought a blink and didn't blink. This is not your target. You keep on going on Necro. Like, going on Necro is okay if like he's getting stunned or some shit, but at this point in the game, I don't know, your item build just doesn't really let you man up to anybody. You can't man up to Necro with these items because you don't have a Nullifier. You can't man up to Morphling because you don't have a Scotty. Like, Jug is not a man up hero. And so, like, with this item build, you have to play off people getting stunned, or you have to run at people who are squishy. Like, you don't just, like, blink in an auto attack. Unless, like, they're specifically stunned. But, like, now you spin. I mean, here, I don't know what the fuck's happening. Because, like, this guy's bottom. What a Chad, bro. I love this guy. My man buys... I love this guy so much, dude. I love this guy so much. My man buys a pipe and then split pushes. Like, you know, it doesn't get much better than this. It's just good shit, honestly. This is just fantastic. He knows what he's doing. He sees the cart wave. He's like, I got a cart wave. I know what to do. I'm gonna push. I'm gonna bait the rotations. He has no TP. He has no TP. Run, Jakiro! No! Oh, he's fine. Beast. He just juked them. So at this point in the game, another big thing about Jug is checking items. If they buy like Ghost Scepters and Glimmers and shit, like, big problem about Jug as a hero is that he gets countered by like every defensive item in the game. He's like hard countered by Glimmer if you don't have Dust. Ghost Scepter fucks him if you Omni Slash and don't spin. Yules destroys you. Like, basically you have to be really careful around defensive items with Jug. It's kind of a big downside of the hero. And so If you're not checking items and you're playing Jug, it's just a mistake. Because like a big part of this hero is just getting value out of your spells. It's kind of a psycho Omni again. Like most of the time late game you should be leading with your Q so that you can use it again. But it's alright to Omni right away if you're like bursting a key target, but you're just kind of like Omniing someone dying. And you are dead. You are dead. I mean, here, your Coddle's dead. It's a 4v5. You should just go push in top wave and wait for him to respawn. This is just a lack of patience. Like, your Spirit Breaker is bottom, your Coddle's dead, and you're just taking a 4v5 that you lead by Omni-slashing Undying. It's just kind of a done fight. Is Nullifier a good Jug item? Yeah, it's good. Usually you buy it after your... You usually buy it 4th item if you're gonna buy it. Yikes. How did you even manage to full duration Omni Slash on Morphling? Did he like panic? Oh, he waveformed the creep wave. You know, I mean, at least I can fully understand why you Omni Slash him. Because you saw that he clicked the waveform. So frankly, while it was still a bad play, I understand why you did. Healing Ward. Oh, you didn't click any buttons. Alright, basically, the biggest thing I'd recommend for you, Gunks, is you need to really study up on teamfight execution. Map play and teamfight execution. Your mid game was fantastic, which is like a big thing I noticed for 3Ks, because honestly, I think it's the easiest part of the game to learn as a carry. It's kind of like relatively simple, but then like this part is kind of hard. Like the late game fight execution, laning stage execution, late game fight execution, and then like deep shoving waves. You know, I really like pushing it in deep, and that's something you should learn as well. It's really satisfying, feels good. All right, thanks so much for watching that Juggernaut coaching video. If you guys want other coaching videos on whatever hero, just let me know. I'm definitely down to do this more on stream. By the way, you can check out my stream. The link is in the description, so if you want to get some free coaching, head on over there. I'll see you guys there, and I'm out. Peace!